Sephiroth, Katie's gonna hate. Sephiroth, Katie's gonna hate. Oh, not gonna take this. Sephiroth, Katie's gonna hate. Oh, not.
There we go. I forgot to hit the mute button on Twitch. So Jeremy and I were hearing everything,
including echoes.
Anyway, back to this tweet.
Who's tweeting?
I am tweeting.
Why are you tweeting?
To tell Twitter that our free show is live. As I'm sure you can hear the clickety-clack of my keyboard.
I must say though, Jared, your keyboard's a lot quieter than mine. Mine actually does clickety-clack. Yours more does thuds. Thudda thudda thudda.
Asians are better at everything, even stealing. Look at this shit.
Oh, there's a new link.
Alright.
I think Dave saves them.
I think he does.
He collects
I just
them.
leave the page up, and any ones that I want to save, I open up in new tabs.
That's what I heard on my side.
Yeah, it was epic, Robo Dave.
I said tabs, so.
You did.
We figured.
I'm sorry, did he use chopsticks to steal that?
Yes.
That was awesome.
That's so stellar. Okay, I'm gonna go make Mom sound check Twitch. Make sure it doesn't sound like boo real quick.
Wait, your mom's there?
Yeah.
69 in the kitchen?
Dave, hold that thought, Dave. She can't hear you yet.
Okay.
But she knows.
She knows.
Well, I'll have you repeat it anyway, but...
Oh.
You're right, because she refers to you as her kitchen boy.
That's my baby boy. Ooh, I'm still looking for my hand.
Yeah.
Oh no, Kool-Aid man.
I muted the
Too bad.
A little bit.
You jelly?
A little bit.
I'm jelly, and I'm not even sure what I'm jelly about.
Oh, and the third reason I don't watch sports. Coming live in 3, 2, 1.
And it means I gotta mess with Jared's weird mouse.
Yes, it does.
I'm not sure what that has to do with the fact that he's playing sports. That just makes him a big weirdo.
Okay, okay, Dave. Dave, go ahead and repeat your hello to Mom.
69 in the kitchen?
She made a funny little head shaking gesture and smiled over here.
Yeah, giggle.
Ooh, what's up with that leg? And by leg I mean, I just heard the same story twice.
Oh, that's because you're hearing the Twitch TV off of the laptop, and there's a time delay. And this is a high quality microphone.
It loosely translates to expensive.
It is in fact a studio microphone.
Now I can go back to my place.
Jared didn't realize I've just brought the rest of the six-pack with the with the bottle opener, just sitting right next to my foot.
That was some money if the trash can wasn't full. Damn it. Probably the way to do it. Just cough away from the mic.
You haven't had an orgasm today?
I'm sorry, Dave.
So you're saying you need a handy?
Sure.
Well, Mel does... Wait, no, I can't say that one because it's part of our intro for later.
I either walked away at the wrong time or came back in at the wrong time.
Possibly both.
Not sure which. All I heard is you have an orgasm today?
No, he hasn't had one today. And he wants to rectify that. Without using his rectum, preferably.
I get a fart.
Speaking of using your rectum.
Lord. I'd like to point out that if you had Jared's microphone, we could probably hear it.
That's probably
I
accurate.
could fart on the microphone like I did on you the other day.
He did. Oh my god, he so did.
That's pretty hilarious, I gotta say.
Alright, Google Chrome, I'm telling you, buddy, we are fighting.
Why?
We got a new one.
Why Google Chrome be mean to you?
Because anything that comes in regular call,
You mad?
at least it's not Internet Explorer, alright?
Yeah, Dave, I'd say that's pretty suggestive.
Dave would never use such
I mean, she's being pretty obvious. You plus me equals her. Oh, BRB.
Jeremy's ringing.
No shit. You don't say.
Yeah, I like to state the obvious for the viewers, okay? Alright, so got Twitch up so I can talk to anyone that happens upon us in the chat room.
I am losing my mind. I literally just thought, oh, I should put a rage face as my Skype profile picture.
You're already there.
I know.
Already there.
So it makes me cool. So I get paid the big bucks.
That's why you hold this podcast together.
Whatever.
Okay.
Crisis averted?
There was no crisis.
Oh, good. That's even better.
I think if I have the fapping female rage face as my Skype picture, never mind.
We actually don't have... We aren't broadcasting the Skype window anymore, so it doesn't really matter. You could have a naked picture of yourself in Skype and no one
I
would
was
see
just
it.
gonna say, there go the boobs.
Yeah.
The main reason you watch this show.
Would have been. However.
It's okay. We've got 6 subscribers.
Do we?
Yeah.
Not on YouTube. On
yeah.
well, one of them's me.
And one of them's me.
So we've really only got 4 subscribers.
Was awesome. I was just joking when I said me, but or that aren't nuts, but oh dear.
Oh, what's that? I got a better key. Not really.
Shut your mouth.
That would be a bad thing to proclaim to the entire internet.
Pretty much.
I don't give a fuck.
I know.
Until they rectify the bullshit with the pre-orders, I'm not even excited for it anymore.
See, I didn't see anything wrong with it.
Nope.
Hey,
No
hey,
rage.
discussion in show blocks. We can argue about it there.
There's either a porn show going on in the sky with strobe lights, or that's lightning.
Yay, lightning. Lightning means Dave might lose power, which would suck.
Porn shows in the sky actually sounds more entertaining.
Yes. I must agree with that statement.
Okay, time to click all of the links in the show notes.
That's what I'm doing.
At least the show notes open, does that count?
That does count.
That was
was pretty juicy.
I wanted to participate.
We're the classiest Guild Wars podcast around.
Right? Don't hate.
That's right. At least we don't sound like crap anymore.
Wait, Guild Wars 2 have official?
They're going to have official forums. I don't know if they're actually open yet or not, but...
Bitches ain't gonna use that, they're gonna use Guru.
That's true. Or
Fuck,
Insider.
I'm already using Guild Wars 2 Guru.
What the hell is Guru?
Guild Wars 2 Guru, it's the Curse Guild Wars fan site. It's the MMO champion of...
so something I
Guild
never
Wars.
used anyway.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, I don't need Dave's link open.
Why not?
Because I trust you to devour me with information.
Giggle, 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 giggle.
That sounded so much better in my head.
Yes, devour me, please. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah!
Leave no sausage behind. Oh wait, that's Mel, never mind.
Okay, so...
I just want to warn you guys that I am way less prepared this week than I was last week.
That's right, so am I.
I
Actually,
haven't even looked at the Ranger yet.
I'm equally
Stellar.
prepared.
Glad we're on
I
the
think
same
we're all on
page.
the same page this week.
Hey, I looked at the Warrior and was like dumbfounded by how
different.
awesome it looks.
That's true. Okay.
And
I will
So-
kill you, by the way.
So, in the interest of, we have no idea how long Dave's going to be here.
Starting now.
We might as well.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Cheat sheet, boys.
Well, let me know when you find your cheat sheet.
Damn. Well,
Well, to be fair, you've got like 2/3 of the show to find your cheat sheet.
I know.
You better get that traits thing opened up.
However, if it's not in my immediate
Oh, wait,
rolling
no, I have it
distance,
right here.
I'm probably not going to find it.
Rolling distance?
She's in a rolly office chair.
Yes, I am.
Well played, sir.
Thank
well
you.
played.
Wait, she's Sir now?
Oh, she.
Jeremy,
Oh.
sir, you silly fush.
Like a sir.
Oh, I thought she got knighted or something when I was gone.
Damn well should. Except for my ability to keep track of pieces of fucking paper.
Wait, now I have to Google that. If a female gets knighted, does that make her become a Sir?
You just
I
use
actually
phosphorus
want to know
kill it.
this. I'm willing to wait to start the show for you to Google that and find out. Wikipedia should know.
Wikipedia should also know where my paper's at. However,
Wikipedia is not that smart.
Nice.
What does it say you are holding this call?
I'm hosting,
hosting.
this call.
God, I can't read from a distance of more than 3 feet.
Jeremy's a boss.
or something.
Like a boss. I was whipping his ass on the disc golf course
I bet
today.
you were whipping his ass.
That's dirty.
That's all.
and awkward, considering we're brothers.
And the awkward statement of the day goes to Dave.
Well done.
Congratulations, Dave.
Keep it in the family.
Don't worry, Dave. Last week it was me.
That's true, and it's
Hey,
carrying
hold,
over.
hold
Can't
the
help
fucking
it.
show. Hold the fucking show. Show.
A moment. Right
The
here.
show.
Here, this cheat sheet. Go ahead.
You know what? I'm gonna pour this tea all over you.
Bring it on, bitch.
This show
Come at me, bro.
hasn't even started yet. Someone else can fuck up.
Damn it, Dave. Is she gonna become a Sir if she gets knighted or not?
I'm still looking. There's a lot of shit here.
Damn
on
it.
The namings of.
Fucking Google.
I mean,
Get on the
I
ball.
wouldn't see them ever trying to knight a female, though.
Giggle.
Oh, they become dames?
Mom claims that they become dames.
I know how to spell dames, but thank you. Oh, yep. Dame is the female equivalent of the knighthood in the British honors system.
And my mother
That's
is a
fine.
genius, proven once again.
The word
200
damehood. The word damehood is not used.
What?
Okay, so
Knighthood.
damehood.
I didn't hear what you said.
Damehood doesn't exist.
Oh.
Can I smack you around with a 1 pound sugar daddy, Dave?
Only if you let me smack your arm with a 3 pound sugar.
As long as one of you guys yell, "Who's your daddy?" while it's happening, I don't care.
Oh,
Who's your
God.
sugar daddy?
Fuck, I was Googling. Thanks, guys.
You're
Dave
welcome.
was on Google, and I did not want to go to Google.
Okay. Fuckus.
Fuck
Couldn't
us.
mute my microphone. It's just safer.
Alright. Oh. Alright, I'm good. No, I'm not.
I have to pee again. Really?
Okay, go pee then, before I read this bloody intro.
Oh yeah.
Somewhere is Twitch, and I'm the one looking at it, so I will not look at it at the moment.
Shit, I've got to build a ranger. Quickly.
No, you don't.
Yes, I have to see the traits, bro.
Oh.
Arriba, andale, andale.
Click on the link, man.
Bro,
There's a-
come at me.
I'm coming at you. Click on the damn link. There's a
Which
link.
link?
The list is Ranger Breakdown.
in the under the discussion topic.
That only talks about the pets and shit, though.
If you scroll to the bottom, there should be a trait thing. At least there was for the thief breakdown.
and the warrior.
I mean, I want to see the traits and their lines so I can see what kind of traits are influenced elsewhere. Not necessarily
Okay.
attributes, traits that fall under each category.
Okay. I'm not
I
going to
I want to get in depth with this shit like the Matrix.
It's Dave's turn.
Dave's going first.
I'm not. No, Dave's going last, so that we can save the deepest for last.
It's Dave's turn to give all the information. Which, by the way, I will kill you guys.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
They mentioned it first.
That's
I had no part of it.
That's what we get for lack of structure.
It's Jared's fault. He didn't tell me what specifically he wanted out of it.
Indeed. All right. Okay, for real.
Janet.
For real, we're gonna start this shit.
It's time to, anyways.
It is. Ascendants of Ascalon is an explicit rated podcast. We let words like shit, fuck, and son of a bitch cross our lips. And you may notice that we don't sound garbled and gross this week. It's Saturday, March 17th, 2012. It's approximately 7 p.m. Central, and this is Episode 2 of Ascendants of Ascalon. Hello and welcome to the Ascendants of Ascalon podcast. 4 friends gathering once a week to talk shit. Oh, and Guild Wars 2. Yeah, mostly Guild Wars 2. And here we are. First, it's hard work making 1 million gold in 4 days. Actually, not really. Just time consuming. It's Dave. How you doing, Dave?
I'm doing pretty good. Total count was 1.3 million, by the way.
Thank you for that, making me feel insignificant with my 4K that I made by selling you some stuff. Next, special edition tonight coming from my computer desk. I will give you all the information. It's Jeremy.
I don't seem to have all the information this time because I want to know why Dave hasn't donated some of this to me.
I respect that. Thirdly, I provide structure to this show. Or maybe just structure to sausage. It's Mel. How you doing, Mel?
On a side note, Raid Call just told me I was talking too fast.
Raid Call does not understand.
It doesn't. And I'm great. Thanks for asking.
And finally, there's really no place like home. I'm Jared. How you doing, guys?
Not gonna lie, I thought you were about to say, how are you, Jared?
I thought about it. little self-conversation to open the show. Instead...
See, before we get into that, now that you've gone through the intros, I wanted to say to Dave, you know, when we were talking about how you hadn't had an orgasm yet today, I was going to say, well, Melissa does give structure to sausage.
That she does. Get to her.
That's such a long-distance structure
That is such a
giving.
long distance.
Hey, it ain't nothing. I can dip in the Pacific Ocean from right here on the East Coast.
Nah, not impressed.
And... and with that, we are going to go ahead and launch into what we've been doing this week. And I'm going to start because mine is the most boring. I spent 5 days in Kansas.
Okay, Toto.
And much of those 5 days were spent in various degrees of irritation with my future mother-in-law, who, well, is not my favorite backseat driver in the whole wide world.
I dubbed her the F-mill on Twitter for ease of use.
I bet she's going to watch the podcast, too, and then she's going to hate
I hope so.
There's not a chance in hell. She's a computer programmer, right? But she is so, like, she still plays Yahoo games, okay? Let me put it in that context for y'all. Let's see, what else? I checked out the free trial of Dungeon Defenders on Steam, logged into Guild Wars. Yeah, it was a mistake, actually, because it's tower defense is not my kind of game. I logged into Guild Wars for about 30 minutes because I got back on Wednesday and was just busy as hell the rest of the week, as you might imagine.
Mel's still messing with her microphone.
What?
Someone's messing with her microphone.
She can't help it. She's got to have something near her mouth.
Oh, I see how this is gonna be. All right, Dave.
I see what you did there.
So Dave.
What you did there.
So Dave.
What's up?
What'd you do this week besides make billions of gold?
I didn't make billions. I'm not Bill Gates, unfortunately. Well, we had the St. Patrick's Day event, and I had a couple of contract deals for the Shamrock Ales and the 4-leaf clovers, and I was like, fuck yeah. And I pretty much farmed until my brain told me, hey, dumbass, you need some sleep or you're gonna die. And I was like, okay.
It's a very
so
smart
I slept
brain.
for 2 or 3 hours, and then I got back to it. And been working in the backyard. I'm sunburned all the hell. I feel like a lobster. But I've cleaned up a little over an acre of land.
Holy shit.
And had
Don't
a
act all
massive...
impressed. He just burned it all.
That,
I burnt the wood. I threw away the plastic.
that makes my accomplishment for this week just feel just insignificant.
Oh no,
Well-
mine's way better than that.
Well,
Just wait.
tell us your accomplishments, sir.
Well, I haven't had much time for Guild Wars this week because Tuesday was our annual housing inspection, as I said last week when we had our podcast. Well, our house was clean, right? There was some junk in our yard. Well, it's a damn trailer court. What do you expect, right? 2 houses down, there's a guy with fucking heavy machinery in his goddamn yard. But apparently our house wasn't clean enough because we needed to, quote, work on our housekeeping skills. I was like, you son of a bitch. So I spent most of Tuesday and part of Wednesday cleaning up my yard. Which actually, I think it took like 5 contractor bags and 2 30-gallon bags. So, I mean, there was actually quite a lot of shit back there. And then I tried to saw up a bunch of lumber that was back there until my circular saw started kicking on me for whatever reason.
Vis-a-vis, his circular saw tried to kill him.
Yeah, it tried to remove some of my fingers, and I was like, no! I want these!
I think that you should file a complaint because you should put down for a reason that normally at this time of year everything is under snow and therefore would not be visible.
Exactly.
Therefore they can't do.
Right? And last year, our house was actually a little messier than it was this year. And last year he said, oh, don't worry about it, I've seen way worse than this. So apparently he was feeling like being a dick on Tuesday.
File a complaint.
More importantly, for the 3 of
He's
you,
the director.
Y'all should be rather happy. Well, I don't know about happy, but y'all just had a record-breaking day. 85 degrees. I believe it was 22 degrees higher than the last record set almost 100 years ago.
Yeah,
We actually broke a different record like 3 or 4 days ago too. But anyway, getting back to my week here. Otherwise, I've been working a lot.
Fuck records. I want to talk about myself.
Well, damn it, you guys interrupted me enough when I was trying to do my guardian shit, which is why, by the way, I did so much information on it.
Whatever.
You guys wouldn't shut the hell up. Anyway, otherwise, I got on Guild Wars at one point this week, did a Zaishin bounty. I think it was the one in Ula's lab, whatever. And that's really all the time I had for Guild Wars this week, sadly, because Dave's finally taught me how to do that run, and I shouldn't say finally taught me, I should say I finally have the equipment to do that.
Which I helped him with.
Which he did. He got me a lot of stuff for that. But I didn't have time to use it this week. But otherwise, now I'm in Sioux Falls. We played some real golf and some frisbee golf today, and well, Jared beat me in real golf, but I totally beat him in the frisbee golf. So
I don't talk about those.
So otherwise, that's it for me, I guess.
Okay, so Mel, what'd you do?
I've had a very eventful week this week. I cleaned my bathroom. I know.
Hey, that's a task.
I know, right? Actually, it wasn't too bad. I laid out in my bikini, got a little suntan today. It's very exciting.
Oh.
Yes, and in between all of that, I flashed people my panties at work today.
Well done.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah.
How'd you pull that one off?
Well, it's St. Patrick's Day, as you may.
Oh, so you were wearing green underwear and
Well,
so.
see, I really didn't mean to because I totally forgot about it. And
So
I
you
work,
got
I'm
lucky.
wearing all blue, like you do, and people come up and they're like, people try to touch me at work. It's really awkward. I really don't like that. They're trying to pinch me, and then I'm like, well, let's just see what kind of underpants I got on. Sure enough, yeah, they're green. So people come up to me and they're like, oh, you're not wearing green. I just flash on my underpants and run away.
Haha.
Today.
Well
Juice
done.
drink, by the way.
Well done.
Yep.
Home here.
What?
You're missing the most important part of all this. You
Oh.
watched me make fucking money.
Oh,
A
yeah.
lot.
I'm doing a lot of screen sharing with Dave. In between my panty flashing. Yeah.
And sunbathing.
Yeah. And some, which is
And-
also green, by the way, so I was just really off. And I'm wearing a green shirt now, so keep the virtual pinches to yourself, people.
And I still didn't get any pictures.
I know, right?
Poor
Tisk, tisk.
Dave.
In my defense, Dave said, I'm gonna go take a shower, and I said Pixar didn't happen, so he sent me a picture of his fucking shower, so that's why I
Alright.
Well played, sir.
Now that Dave has proven his winningness once again, I will make you listen to my chair, and we'll move on into the news.
I'm gonna send you my other one. We'll be twin chairs. Chair twins, whatever.
Chair twins. Leaving it alone. Moving on. Okay. So, there was a literal fuck ton of news that came out this week. Some good, some not so good. Some that we can blow through really quickly. Like minimum system requirements. Obviously, this comes with the asterisks. Due to potential changes, vis-a-vis beta is beta, these may change. But if you were to tell me 3 weeks ago, when we were looking at all these beautiful looking YouTube videos, that the minimum requirements would be Windows XP with a 2 gigahertz processor and 256 megs for a video card.
I'd have told you were full of shit.
Yeah. I mean, granted, you have to have a considerably better rig to get that kind of output, undoubtedly. But the fact that you can run the game on what is essentially, I mean, the way I read that is like a 3 or 4 year old laptop, I'm okay with that. Thoughts?
Check this out. With the first Guild Wars, it came out 7 years ago. Almost. It's about to have its 7th year birthday in April, I believe.
Yeah.
That game, its core base is so simple and so good. It can run on fucking Linux with almost no customization whatsoever. ANET, for some reason, has their shit straight when it comes to what platform they use. Their software is very efficient. That doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me at all, because they're fucking genius when it comes to their system requirements.
I didn't know that you could run original Guild Wars on Linux. That is like, holy shit.
ba-
I mean, I know it doesn't take much to run unless it's like doing some major background downloading, but that is crazy awesome.
I mean, basically, what I, between reading this and hearing what you've just said, it just reminds me, you know, Blizzard has a pretty good handle on having a game that runs on just about everything in World of Warcraft, but ANET was kind of the precursor to that. Being like, I mean, the way I understand it, for its time, the system requirements were kind of steep in 2005, but it's aged so much better than other MMOs of its time. And I think that's the key there.
Yeah, and another thing, everyone, I don't know about now, but whenever ANET first formed, all those were ex-Blizzard people that were like, you know what, this company fucking sucks, let's go start our own.
For real.
I like
So,
it.
I mean, they knew all the shit that was being done wrong, and they were like, this is so fucking simple to fix, why don't we do it? And Blizzard was like, no! So they're like, fuck you. And,
Okay.
yeah, and then they have Guild Wars, and we're about to have Guild Wars too. I love it.
Basically,
Helicopter dick to Blizzard's face.
no, my turn. Coming from a technologically challenged point of view, Melissa's point of view, shut your mouth. All I got out of this article is that a internet connection and a keyboard and a mouse is required, which I think is kind of bullshit. I think it should run on brain power.
Willpower will run this game.
So, but that's just me. What do you want me to do the rest of the night?
Further reminders that Dave is sometimes a jerk.
But that was pretty awesome.
Really, Jeremy?
Hey.
You are 2 for 2 now on supporting Dave.
Come on now, Mel. You got to admit that was a good buzzing.
If anyone says bros before hoes, I will kill you all.
I believe I have a gift house saying that. Let me find that.
Oh dear God. Well, while he's finding that,
Actually.
okay, good. Let's move on to the next news topic, which was kind of a combo thing. ANET came out with a blog post titled "Building Community," where they announced that they're actually going to have official forums for Guild Wars 2, as opposed to the fan sign interaction that they have going on right now. But however, the blog post also states, hey, this doesn't mean we're not going to have dudes posting on Guru or Guild Wars Insider or any of those other fan sites. So
I think it's cool that they're going to have an official forum, because that's somewhere where if you're not sure where to look for something from the ANET team, you know where to go. You go to the official forums, look for what you're looking for, and if it's there, or if it's information that's available, that's where it's going to be. If it's from ANET, I'll be honest, I'm not big on just trolling forums all over the place to try to find one little piece of information. No, I want to be able to find it and get on with my life. So I like this.
total fucking silence.
You'd be surprised. Forums actually don't float my boat. And I didn't read this article. It was too long.
I understand.
I read part of it and then decided I really don't use the forum unless I'm going to sell something or unless there's a blue post that, well, Blizzard blue post, I don't know what ANET's going to have, but a forum moderator post.
Right.
I usually like to find them trolling people.
True story.
But apart from that, I've used Guru, I use it to buy and sell, I use it to offer services, runs, vanquishes, whatever.
So
but
basically,
I really don't ever have a problem that I need to go to the forums and be like, hey, what's up? So.
right. Well, and I guess the main thing I think that's nice about it is there's at least the potential there to kind of consolidate like guild recruitment stuff onto the official forums. I mean, obviously there's going to be guild recruitment forums on fan site forums as well, but just to have especially for new players, to have this place where they can go and be like, oh, let me go ahead and find a guild here. This is fantastic. I found a guild. Yay! They'll help me play and not have to play by myself. Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's my version of a noob.
Something interesting about this this building community thing. The very first picture, I see two dervishes, and I'm like, why did you dress like that? Seriously. What? Go to the first picture in the link.
Not the banner, but the one below it with the dude in the foreground with the big Guild Wars 2 shirt on. There's
an NC Soft spelled backwards.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why.
Right? I'm gonna steal his shirt.
I'm assuming that must have been like a two-sided panel.
That's the only thing that makes sense.
And what's with the girl that looks like she's about to flash everybody?
Is that chick wearing a hood?
Yeah, that's what Dave was talking about with dervishes.
Pretty sure she looks like she's about ready to kill everybody.
Oh, that must be a necromancer girl.
Okay, let's quit deciphering this.
Good.
Dave's gonna poo, so we're gonna talk about something that makes him angry. Which is the pre-purchase details.
He's gonna be so mad when he comes
that
back and knows that we're done with this.
Okay, so
we should skip this and come back to. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Peace.
For Dave's opportunity to
rage
about it because he is very angry about it.
And I don't see why. I mean, I can.
Okay, so we'll skip that then.
Whatever. Moving on.
We will move on to a post over on Guild Wars Insider entitled "Play by Your Rules." And essentially what this post talks about is how Guild Wars 2 is going to ease players into the game in the early levels based on someone asking questions somewhere, be it forums, Twitter, Facebook, whatever, is there a tutorial phase in Guild Wars 2? The answer from what is it, Monomythian, probably mispronounced the shit out of your name, I apologize, one of the writers over at Guild Wars Insider, basically says, yeah, but it's so well integrated that you won't even realize that you're in a tutorial.
And I have to agree with his opinion on tutorials in this article because they are so horrible. As an experienced player, I feel like it's wasting an hour to 2 hours of my time to get through the, quote, tutorial phase of a game. And for even when I was a new player, I thought it was just horrible. I just wanted to get out and start doing what I wanted to do. But I couldn't until I finished that tutorial phase. And it was just horrible. So I really hope that they're going to do this as well as it sounds like they're going to do. You know, there is a thing here where you're going through a learn the game phase, but you don't realize it. You know, it's not going to have big pop-ups that say, press this button now! You know, or a quest that says, use this spell 5 times. I believe they started pulling that in.
I really hated that addition a while.
Oh my god, that made me so mad. It's like, what's
Really?
the point?
Use plus heal on 3 injured company, really?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. It's like, okay, I can see why you would want to make sure that I know how to use the spell, but why 3 times? If I've used it once, I know how to use it. Thank you.
On that note, raging about that for a second, on the Shaman tutorial, your ability you have to do it with is Primal Strike, which has a cooldown, and you're just sitting there seriously staring at your half-dead totem thing that you've got to whack.
Yeah.
As a troll.
Yep.
Are you joking while I wait for this cooldown to finish so I can whack it again?
Yep. Yep. They did it with Smite, too, with the priest. And you had to wait for that cooldown, too. It was just horrible.
Smite doesn't cooldown?
Yeah. Well,
No, it doesn't.
No, it wasn't Smite. What the hell
It was
was
definitely Flash Heal, and there's no cooldown.
No. There was another class that had one of those things that had a cooldown. I'm trying to remember what it was.
Cooldown are lame, just like tutorials. My favorite tutorial ever was for Final Fantasy X. It just throws you right into action, which it sounds like from what I've seen going
Right.
to that's the exact same thing.
Yes.
So that'll be
What's
kinda cool.
interesting about it, though, is every tutorial for every race is different. They don't all throw you into the same situation. They throw you into situations that will force you to use the skill to get through it, but it doesn't tell you how to do it. It lets you figure it out. But something I don't get is, like, the Norn one teaches you that you need to dodge out of shit. The human and the Char one don't necessarily do that. Each one I've seen teaches different, I guess, survival and offensive techniques, and I'm not sure why they don't have an all-encompassing.
It might be something that gets added in closer to, Sail. You know,
It's
that
also possible that people just suck at dodge rolling, which we have seen since it's such a new concept for an MMO.
Yeah.
True.
Well, anyone that played Fable, seriously,
Right.
Fable's old enough that a lot of people have played it, and it was rather big at its time.
Oh yeah.
You know how to dodge roll if you play Fable.
I got hit a lot.
I'm gonna become an expert dodge roller. I'm just
Yeah, I'll get good at it, but
Yeah.
but no, and that, like I said, that's probably something that during the beta, that's what the beta's for. They're going to find things that don't quite work exactly as well as they wanted it to, and they're going to tweak it.
ooh, maybe. Did you say it was the Norn that teaches you how to dodge roll?
Yeah,
Thank-
it has an emphasis on it.
Well, obviously that's just because they're so fucking clunky.
And
They just need to.
they're big.
That's all.
When you're 8 feet tall, you have to know how to dodge expertly.
Right.
Now, something we haven't seen. I know this is slightly off topic to the tutorial, but I would like to see every race, whenever they dodge, to do it a bit differently.
Yes.
They're different species. They
Agreed.
have different body structures. I've seen the Char, they dive and roll. Which, for a humanoid cat, I can see that.
Mm.
Norn kind of does a shoulder thing, but I haven't seen Solari, Asura, or human.
So we're just hoping that they all have different dodges at this point.
Right.
Yeah, I would like to see some variation in the race.
That would be nice. You know, because every single one of them would dodge differently IRL.
That's unfortunate. I don't know how a plant dodges anything.
Well, they're humanoids, so they're gonna do.
Yeah. So
They might dodge just like a human because
Yeah.
they're mostly human.
or very similarly to a
Body shape.
human.
Yeah, a little bit more acrobatic and graceful.
Right.
Eating on the planet.
Yeah. Yeah, a little more graceful, I'd say, but, you know,
Okay.
mostly like a human.
So, just because I know the pre-order topic is going to be a pretty long discussion, let's finish out these other news items and then come back to that. So, the next item then talks about how ANET is working on making NPC AI such as ranger pets, things of that nature, to function properly.
And it looks like right now they have like the Mesmer AI good, the Necromancer AI doing pretty well, but right now it really does look like the Ranger pet AI is not coming up to scratch. I'm just going by this article here.
Yeah. I think the Ranger's pet should be the most in-depth AI, simply because the Ranger does have to rely on it to a degree.
Oh,
And you're always
absolutely.
going to have a pet out.
Absolutely. The Ranger's pet AI should be the most sophisticated player AI, so to speak, in the game, because that pet directly influences everything the Ranger does.
And probably secondary to that would be any necromancer undead summons.
Yeah.
Well, they're supposed to kind of be like drone.
I mean, yeah,
beat sticks.
they're more. They seem to have those more in line with the necromancer minions from Guild Wars 1, as far as they're not. I mean, obviously they're sub-intelligent creatures.
They're supposed to be a meat shield and a beat stick. They aren't
Something
supposed to
I have
think.
noticed in the Necromancer videos, though, the minions will try and focus on something that the Necromancer is attacking.
Oh, that would be a huge improvement, because you'll notice that in Guild Wars 1, the minions will just kind of run off and attack whatever's in their range.
Yeah, and whatever you're targeting, like every minion has a sub-ability. The Flesh Golem, which is the one of the Necromancer elites, has a charge that knocks everything down from between where it started and its initial its target, so it can knock down 3 or 4 enemies at a time. But whenever you initiate a minion's secondary skill, it begins to focus on that target, which is pretty nifty. It gives you subtle control over the minions that you didn't have in Guild Wars 1.
Yeah. Yeah, see, now, that's one thing I would have liked. You know how in Guild Wars 1 you hit Y and it brings up the minions pane? Okay. Well, what if... A simple thing that they could do for that to improve it, and I don't know if it would actually be simple in programming terms, but it sounds simple, is, you know how on the heroes they have the lock button? And whatever you're targeting, they will lock onto.
Mm-hmm.
Make a lock button for your entire minion pane, so that any minions you have out will lock onto that target.
I would think it would be the same as the Ranger, because you know the Ranger's pet is actually in the party frame, and you can click it just like you can a hero,
Yep.
and set it to heal or all that. Heal
Yeah.
as in H-E-E-L, not H-E-A-L.
Right, right.
I don't see why on the minion pane they couldn't add a button at the top that had the sword for aggressive, the shield for defensive, and the dove or whatever for passive. I mean, I would think that would be rather easy to implement, and it
Right.
would just encompass all the minions.
Yep. Just a blanket effect. And then have a lock button if they felt like it was needed to help that sort of thing.
Yeah. Because that would make minion masters a lot more viable in dungeons and such, which they seem to be very viable in Guild Wars 2 dungeons, because they're not open like they were in Guild Wars 1. They're very hallway, and everything's going to be focused anyways.
Yeah. Right.
Okay,
Alright.
so let's move on to our last little kind of semi-news item. This article from 321 Spike, kind of theory crafting how to create an effective team build in competitive PvP.
Now, if you don't mind me starting on this one,
Knock yourself out.
as somebody who doesn't really do well in PvP and hasn't played much PvP in their MMO career, reading this made a lot of sense to me. And I don't know squat about PvP. So, it was like, okay, I can see where this is a great framework to build on for a PvP team. They broke it down for you so well to say, okay, here's why this is a support class, because this is what it's going to do. Here's why this is an offense class, because this is what that's going to do. It was great. Excellent article, especially for somebody like me who doesn't know squat about PvP. Well, effective PvP.
So funny you should say that, because I actually really hate this article. I think that it opens the door for a lot of people to be like, oh, well, if you haven't read the article, it has the list 5 classes and then what they are supposed to do in this theoretical build. And it says, oh, you're Necromancer? Well, obviously you're doing damage. Guild Wars, everyone has the ability to be a tank, everyone has the ability to do damage, and everyone has the ability to heal. So to say that these people are going to be doing this particular role in the group is a little bit ridiculous, and it's going to, it's going to vary on every group that you have.
Well, yeah, but they're saying for this framework, say they built this team, this is how they set it up, this is why they set it up that way.
Oh, I understand, but people are still going to run in there and still going to be douchebags and still try to tell you how to play your damn class according to information that they have no clue what they're talking about.
Well, that's true, but that's people, not the article.
Well, that's true. That is true. And I will say that it does give an interesting brain vomit. Shut up. My brain is wearing the douchebag hat right now, okay? Analogy, thank you there, with the sports in the front lines, mid lines, and backline defense. I just want people not to literally go, oh, the thief, oh, you're just for scouting and field data. Oh,
yeah, when in fact a thief could do some major damage or support.
Yeah, but granted, every class can do healing, profession rather. All of them can do healing, all of them have tanking abilities, all of them have damage abilities. However, if you look at like the Guardian, they have more support skills than any of the other professions in the game.
Absolutely.
So they're going to lend themselves a lot better to support than, say, a warrior or a thief would.
Sure. Definitely. I can get behind that. And whereas, like, say for instance, the warrior is definitely a beastly attacker and he can take a hit too. And he doesn't really have much for support skills. So it's got its own type of balance.
Yeah. All my thoughts are, it's like, articles like this make me want to go back to the site once the game's live. If I decide to get into structured PvP beyond World v. World.
Well, here's something I wanted to ask about
Sure.
this as well. What do y'all think about people doing this early?
I think it's ridiculous.
I agree that it's ridiculous because we have so little hard data, especially on max level.
Right, and one thing I would say is that they shouldn't have done class-specific, this is the class we use. They should have just laid the framework and said, a support class can do this, a support class can do this. A offense class, an offense class can do this. But the fact that they put in professions specifically is what causes the problem with the article, in my opinion.
And the other thing about well, let's face it, theory crafting so bloody early is that it also, it's almost a page view grab because that the news sites are probably going to link to it and that people are going to read it and get butthurt and go to your forums and bitch about it, or go to their forums and bitch about it and link the article, and more people are going to look at it, and it's a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
And that's my chair.
Your chair is awful. Absolutely awful.
Okay, are we sufficiently ready for this? Are we steeled?
Oh, Lord.
So, this week, also the pre-purchase benefits were released, and Guild Wars Insider actually put out a really nice little chart breaking down what you'll get with the standard edition, which will be $60 in the US, the deluxe edition, which I think is $80. Is that right? something in that vicinity.
79, yeah.
Yeah, and then the collector's edition, which will be $150, as well as the 3 things that you get for purchasing starting April 10th, which are access to all succeeding Guild Wars 2 weekend beta events, 3 days head start access, and the bloody Heroes Band.
Now, see, the way I look at that Heroes Band is that it's definitely going to unbalance the first 20 levels or so, but not knowing how stats are going to scale for sure, we can't say that it's going to unbalance anything after that, because there could be a ring out there that has like 20 stats on it, for instance. But, I mean, there's other stuff on here, like, I don't know what this Chalice of Glory or Tome of Influence do. They sound like weapons. Golem Banker. Hello, farmers.
Yeah, the Tome of Influence is a consumable item to increase the influence points your guild has, which can be spent then on buffs for your guild.
Oh, well, that's kind of neat, but anybody that gets that is going to be able to help their guild a lot faster than anybody that doesn't get it.
Well, not necessarily, because the way the guild structure works, you have like 4 categories. There's architecture, economy, and things like that, and you can research one out of any of the 4, and it takes a certain amount of time in the game for the research to be done for your guild to gain it. So everyone can proceed at the same pace, roughly. Like, one of the research things was building a vault for your guild to store items, and that took like 3 days or something to research it and build it.
That's
and
kind of neat.
You couldn't queue anything else until after that was done.
Okay. Let's see here. There looks like anybody that gets the deluxe or higher gets a summon and a banker, which I'm assuming that banker is a merchant you can pull out whenever the hell you want.
It is not
No.
actually, which is so lame. I think it should have made it permanent, to be honest.
What is
It
it?
lasts for 5 days
Okay.
after you use it, and then it goes away. What I think it's going to be is a cash store item that you can buy whenever you feel like it, and you'll have it for that limit, but you get one for free. Well, not for free.
For an extra $20.
Yeah.
Yeah, for an extra $20 you get that tome, the chalice, and the banker, along with a summon and a mini.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming this Chalice of Glory and the Tome of Influence are also going to be cash store items. Things that people can just buy if they want them. If they want to spend the extra money on the microtransaction.
Which will probably be cheaper than buying this pre-order collection, to be honest.
I don't know. ANET tend to lean towards the making everything $10. So, hey.
It's hard to say because the cash shop model has evolved so much since 2005.
That's true. That is very true. But I guess we'll have to wait and see for that. But, you know, the way I look at it, the only thing that's going to imbalance anything in the beginning is that Heroes ban. But honestly, that 3 days head start is going to get people way the hell ahead of anybody that doesn't pre-order anyway.
So true.
Yeah, I mean,
got it. Huh?
basically, but before Dave goes on his rant, I'm going to preface Dave's rant by saying I think it's kind of bullshit that people who pre-ordered are getting they're generally getting fucked in this deal.
That I absolutely agree with.
And also, well, I don't think the Heroes Band is going to be too big of a deal. The principle behind the Heroes Band of, oh, you did something for us, so we're going to give you this extra little item that's going to make you better than everyone else. That I have a problem with, because it smacks of pay to win, and fuck that shit.
Kid Quo Pro. Love it.
Okay. Commence Dave rant.
I got over the Heroes Band, mostly because of what Jeremy said. We don't know how the stats are going to scale. However, with the Luna Ultra skill builder, you can very easily see that ring is allowing people to double dip in stats, where a primary attribute gives you 2 secondary attributes. That ring also gives you your secondary attributes, so it's double dipping. I do not like that, but I got over it. what I have the biggest issue with now is if you pre-order, you are buying skills that no one else can get. I do not like that fucking elite. I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know if they get it at level 1 or if they have to wait till level 30. Waiting to level 30 is a long time, as getting to level 6 or 7 in the beta that's on one of the YouTube videos took almost all of the press beta weekends. I do not like that fucking skill. Guild Wars said they were getting away from the buying skills bullshit. If you wanted it, you had to go out and earn it. They've already said that elite is not going to be accessible in the game, meaning you have a heads up on someone else if you pre-order.
And buy at least the digital deluxe edition. So not only are you pre-ordering, but you're also springing an extra $20 in Annette's pocket.
And I have to agree with that, Dave. Giving somebody an elite that nobody that didn't pre-order the deluxe edition, or I suppose if you just buy the deluxe edition, you'll probably get it too. But anybody that doesn't get the deluxe or higher isn't getting that skill. How is that fair at all?
It's not, and I mean, basically, there's one of two ways this skill's going to go, and it's probably going to start out in, it's going to be overpowered as shit, so people can be excited, oh, I'm so glad I spent this extra $20, and then it's going to imbalance PvP, and ANET's going to nerf it into the fucking ground, because if they've done one thing right over the 7 years that Guild Wars has been out, they've kept their game balanced.
Here's one thing I might think of, is that it could be a non-scaling skill. The higher level you are, the less power it has.
That's a thought. That'd be a way to kind of kill both birds with one stone.
Because let's face it, it wouldn't have I don't know if they're going to do attributes like any form of close of how they did in Guild Wars 1. But if you have a skill and you have 0 in that attribute, that skill's going to be shit.
At max level, yeah.
So that could be how they do it. It's great for the first few levels, and then it's crap. Thoughts?
I think they would alienate a lot of their pre-order buyers if they made something that they couldn't use for the entirety of their play.
That's true.
Good point, yeah. Which means they'll just end up having to nerf it.
Yeah.
Because they're just as smart as Dave.
At least.
Or at least we hope so.
Yeah.
Male?
Am I right in assuming that they can't call take-backsies since they've already released this information to the public? They can't. Oh, just kidding.
Well, any of this information is subject to change until it is shipped.
That's true. So technically they can, but at this point,
it would make them look real bad.
It's highly unlikely that they would.
Right. I don't know. Overall, I could really care less what everyone else is doing. You play your game, I'll play mine, whatever. I mean, I'm all a fan of playing with other people, but for the most part, if some guy wants to whip out his little wolf elite skill on me, I could really give two shits less. If it's going to unbalance things...
I'll turn into a tornado and fuck you all
That's exactly
day
it. I'm just going to do something really badass, and you can just use your little elite skill that you bought. That's fine. Because at the end of the day, I'm doing me. So, it's really whatever, but I understand the issues behind it. And I really think that ANET's going to come through, and they're just going to do what's right for the majority of their players, because my understanding is that this is not well received by a lot of people. So,
yeah,
I'd like to believe that they've got a brain, and that they hopefully know what's good for them.
You know what's funny? I want to get the digital deluxe edition for one thing. The Ritlock miniature.
Are you joking me? I'm spending $60 on this bitch, and that's it.
I want to get that miniature. It sounds sweet.
And I'm probably just going to download this little CD at some future point in time, when everyone...
When somebody loads it onto the
Exactly.
P2P servers.
True story. Or YouTube, for that matter.
Yeah.
Not that we advocate pirating, but we'll take advantage of pirates if necessary.
If necessary.
Yeah, that was kind of a douchebag thing of me to say. I'm sorry.
Well done, Mel. Well done. All right, now it's Dave's turn.
So, now that we've finally covered all of the news, and we've clocked in at just over an hour on this call, we'll move into the next section. And Dave, you go ahead and intro your own segment this week.
What?
Love it. I think
Oh,
you're
we're
raving
talking
about stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, this is Dave's rave. This isn't much of a rave, though. what I want to talk about, and it's not Guild Wars 2 related, Aeon is going free to play in North America sometime at the beginning of spring. Mainly because they realized they were retarded with their first model, and everyone quit their game after a year of it being awesome. And I'd really like to know, actually I am going to get the game whenever it goes free to play, and I will talk about it weekly on the podcast to say what I think they've done right or wrong with making it free to play. But what they're doing, they're raising the level cap by 10 or 20. They're making a more in-depth quest line. And of course the game's going free to play. They hope to breathe new life into their game. What do y'all think about them taking this game that has died and should probably be buried and trying to give it a re-emergence?
Well, basically, I mean, what Aeon is seeing here is the success of another NCSoft's title, City of Heroes, go free to play and be incredibly successful as a free to play game. Another one that's made that transition is DC Universe Online, where their games they had decent releases, but they basically didn't have any end games, so they couldn't retain their players. And so they obviously hemorrhaged subs, but they've come back as free to play, and it's great. And so now, what they're trying to do with Aeon is the same thing, where this game was great, was really good. I almost bought this game when it came out initially, and
I did.
yeah, you did. That's right, because you were the reason I almost bought that game when.
Cool. Which is funny because my packages are still unopened. Packages, I mean boxes.
That's really funny.
And then decided not to, because by then WoW had hooked me so fucking hard that I was toast for 3 years.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, it's an interesting thought, and it might work to some degree, but honestly, here's why I think they're pulling this out now. Because they're trying to keep their current players from moving to a certain other free-to-play MMO that will be being released soon.
Saying Guild Wars 2?
Yeah, that's the one I'm saying.
I don't think they care about that, since Guild Wars 2 is their game.
Yeah, because Aeon's an NCSoft game as well.
Yeah, but, you know, it's subscribers. If you have subscribers, then it's more likely that you'll get more subscribers.
Or in a free-to-play model, if you have lots of people playing your game, that's that many more chances for them to
say, hey,
pay
you should play this with me.
microtransactions.
And that, yeah.
Well, didn't Lord of the Rings try and go free? Or
Yeah.
isn't it free to play?
It is. Lord of the Rings Online is free to play. That one is kind of
Iffy.
Also, Dungeons & Dragons Online went free to play. That one actually was received a lot better.
EverQuest went free to play too. And it's
EverQuest,
still
yeah.
alive.
EverQuest has just celebrated their 13th anniversary
That is an old
in
game.
the last couple of weeks.
I remember them advertising that, like every week on Cartoon Network, they would have a little 10-minute segment of what they had done in the game that week.
Wow.
God, that was a long time ago.
That was
Yeah.
a long time ago. But no, it's definitely an interesting idea, and it may work for them.
Yeah.
And
Let me-
honestly, you look at the model that, for instance, Guild Wars brought out. They've been free to play from the beginning. You buy the package, and then after that, the only money they can get from you is from microtransactions.
Or from new content that they pump out. in
Right,
the form of
or
new
expansions.
campaigns.
Microtransactions or expansions. And that has made ArenaNet highly successful. So why shouldn't other paid MMOs see if they can make that work?
Well, not to mention that, or to tie this back to Guild Wars, it's also made ANET make sure, hey, we want to make sure we're pumping out good content, because we're not Blizzard with World of Warcraft, where we're getting the sub fees regardless of if we pump out a shitty 7-boss raid that everyone hates. I mean, there's that too.
Something interesting about that point. On the article I have in the show notes about Aeon going free to play, there was another sub-article to the side that showed Blizzard's pay scale. They get more money from their transactions in their store, buying pets and
Server
all that,
transfers and all that bullshit. Yeah.
than they actually get from the subscriber fee.
Yeah.
So feasibly, they could go free to play without them losing. Well, of course they'll lose subscription fees, but they will still be able to run the game and make profit with just their transactions.
There's a 5-letter word that starts with G that's the problem with that.
Well, yeah, they're just as bad as Apple with their 92 billion. Well, Apple's 92 billion in the bank.
They're greedy. Which was 6 letters, by the way, but the word I was looking for was
I
greed.
totally just counted. On my fingers, in fact, like a boss.
Like a boss. But yeah, the word I was looking for was greed.
Alright, so have we sufficiently beat that into the ground?
I think so.
No.
No? Not quite.
Just know that whenever it goes free to play, I'm probably going to turn the Dave's Raves little thing into my opinions on how it goes free to play. And if y'all want to join me or whatever, then have at it. But I will be playing that throughout the week and discerning different things.
That'll be the holdover title for you?
Yeah.
As opposed to Diablo 3. Bum, bum, bum.
Fuck Diablo 3.
I'm not giving Blizzard any more money.
As
The only way I would give Blizzard any more money is if they would give me my DK in a special little WoW universe that I could play on my computer with no one else.
Really?
Like a private server, but offline.
I was going to say, as opposed to 24 hours of mindless farming on Guild Wars, which is essentially all you do at this point.
Well, no, I run dungeons. Mel's watched me do a couple dungeons.
I watched him slaughter frog people.
I wish I had the connections you have, Dave. But I like the guild that I created.
I just like your guild hall. That's why I don't ditch your guild for Dave's guild.
Well, you know what? I bet his
I'll
guild
own that
hall has
baggage.
the same thing.
Honestly, that was awesome.
Well, you know, I never run a full group. There's never 8 of us in a group. If y'all want to go and y'all are online, tell me and I'll see if anyone in the guild's doing hard mode shit and we can go do hard mode shit.
As long as they aren't going to require specific builds that I'm going to have to take
No.
20 minutes to try to find.
So long as you have a res and a self-heal and you can do damage competently, they don't give a fuck.
Damn it, I don't usually have a res and a self-heal on my bars.
Well, I don't have a res because they expect me to do my dervish thing, and I do. And I always carry Light of Deltamore. They know I like to have that holy. I like that synergy with dervish, so they let me do that. And in dungeons, it works because then I can go, hey, LOD, let's go, buddies, and there we go.
Yeah, and like for a hard mode shit, I tend to bring my damage reduction set on my ritualist. I almost said Mesmer, and I'm not really sure why.
Because you looked right at me when you were saying it. Okay, so speaking of Mesmer and other Guild Wars type professions, we're going to go ahead and move into our discussion topic, breaking down the other half of the profession list. In the interest of Mel's oh crap, we'll go ahead and have Jeremy start with the warrior.
Okay, first off, let me say that when I looked at the warrior, I actually took a look. I was like, holy shit. This is like, this quite seriously is Warrior 2.0. This is way more badass than the original Guild Wars Warrior. I mean, there's so many different combinations of weapons and defensive items and skills and whatever the hell else you want to think of for the warrior in Guild Wars 2. I mean, you can use a great sword, a giant hammer, two one-handed swords, 2 one-handed axes. They can use any melee weapon and or physical damage ranged weapon in the game. You know, the only things they can't really use are staves and wands.
I would laugh at
And
any warrior I saw
focuses.
wandering around with a staff, rather. I'm not gonna lie.
I think I would too. But, you know, that being said, they're extremely versatile with how you want to play them because of how many weapons they can use. The main detriment to them is that they don't really have support skills. They can beat shit up and they can take damage. I'll wait for the squeaking to finish. And that's pretty much all they really get. Noted, Dave, by the way. the two big things with warriors continue to be stances and adrenaline. You know, there's still shouts and stuff, but you know, those have always taken kind of a backseat, unless you're really big into certain builds. But there's still most of the warrior skills are still going to be adrenaline. Yay raw, I get mad, and whack things really hard.
With a big fucking hammer.
Yes. Now the traits. We have strength, arms, defense, tactics, and discipline. Strength, that's you hit harder and your conditions last longer. You make people bleed longer. That's and it's mainly those are the damage traits, big time. Then there's arms, which raises your precision and condition damage. Also, kind of another damage run of trait lines. Defense, I don't think I need to get into what defense is, thank you. Tactics is vitality and boon duration. Most of the traits have to do with the boons, so I guess that would go hand in hand with defense. And then there's discipline, which raises crit damage and burst skill damage, which is a lot of the adrenal traits. I suppose that one could go with either of the other two sets of two, really. So all I can really say, other than all of that, is if I decide I don't like the Guardian, I am playing a Warrior, because this thing sounds badass. Okay, Dave, feel free to comment.
Well, first I want to ask you a question to see if you
sorry.
know. I forgot what the question was, so I'll go with my comment. It seems like a lot of the warrior support is actually built
into the damage.
Well, kind of. Like, whenever they use their shield block, anyone behind them will also benefit from the warrior blocking.
True. And when they're using the two-handed hammer, they knock shit down a lot.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask. Are there any kind of combo chains, like the Warrior in Guild Wars 1? For example, one of the combos is you knock them down, and then you hit them again, and if they're knocked down, then they get cripple or cracked armor. Are there any combos like that with the Warrior in Guild Wars 2, or did you see?
From the looks of it, there will be. It hasn't gotten really into specifics yet. But, like, for instance, the hammer, what they say about the hammer is it's a control weapon, period. It focuses on tactically debilitating the enemy, and in caps, with a giant hammer. So, I mean, they have their control. So, yes, they can contribute support, but it's going to be hand in hand with the damage or damage reduction that they're doing.
Okay.
Alright, so... Mail.
What?
Tell us all about the Elementalist.
Why you skip me? I am last on this list.
Burn with fire.
I pick randomly.
Man. Okay. Well,
Actually,
yeah, Burn with Fire is pretty darn close. I guess.
Actually, he had a coin. He said if it's heads, it's Mel. If it's tails, it's Dave.
That's a
what we
lie.
didn't know is that it was a two-headed coin.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate you guys. They asked me today, I come cruising at like 2 o'clock and they're like, hey, you ready for the podcast? I'm like, what? So that tells you how prepared I am for this. The Elementalist has really been referred to as versatile, kind of throughout the whole thing. I think even in Alpha they were saying that. Of course, I don't know that personally. just
You've heard
telling
that.
you.
You've heard that
what I've
word on
read.
the street.
And it appears that it's going to continue to be that way, just because there's so much stuff that you can do with it. It's very similar to Engineer in the fact that it has a lot of switching that's available. The Elementalist only has access to 4 weapon types: Staff, Scepter, Dagger, Focus. Granted, they can dual-wield daggers. However, they make up for that in the fact that they have the attunements, your Fire, Water, Air, and Earth, which are also 4 of the 5 trait lines, by the way. Obviously, the only attunement that I think is really tricky is the Water attunement, which is mainly your healing attunement. Also does ice damage. Other than that, I think you can pretty much get the gist of what the attunements do. The fire trait line, as you might expect, increases. There are
Water?
a lot of fire skills. Yes.
It's burn with fire.
It is burn with fire. However, it does increase or condition damage, I believe. I hope I'm not lying to that.
So it burns
No, I'm
with
not.
fire harder.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Also does expertise, so it makes it longer, harder, and longer.
Excellent.
Oh boy.
Right?
Now that's a combination.
No wonder that it's everyone's favorite. No. Your second trait line, air, is precision and prowess. Improves. That's your crit damage, crit build. I also believe it's like chain lightning. Is that one of the abilities? I believe so. Don't quote me on that. Earth is your defensive trait line. It's toughness and malice. Toughness pretty easy. Total health. Malice improves the damage done by all conditions. Yeah, mostly defensive. So let me just double check on that. Interesting thing that I would like to point out here is that I'm dealing with a lot of incomplete information because the Earth magic, it gives you are assigned 3 traits. You know that you can select 3 major traits. So if you pick the Earth magic trait line, right now there are only 5 major traits even released to us.
Oh
So
wow.
it's like, okay. So I'm mostly, a lot of this information is going to change just because I don't have all the information that I'm
But-
dealing with right now.
At the same time, if they stick with how the Elementalist was and is in Guild Wars 1, Earth will be the defense trait.
9, 10, 11. Yeah, that's true. And that seems to be where they're going right now. It's just, the Earth magic has 5 released traits.
Basically,
the Fire
they have
has
to
11
flesh
released.
it out
so it's
more.
like, ooh. Water magic, again, is your healing. It's your 10, your vitality and compassion, which are all your healing stats. The last one is arcane power, which has concentration, which is the elementalist secondary attribute, and that reduces the recharge of your 4 elemental attunements. I'm not really certain how that's going to work yet, if that legitimately just affects the amount of time it takes to switch between attunements. I believe it gives an example of if you switch to fire, the fire attunement goes on a 10-second cooldown because you do get a passive ability by switching to that attunement, and all the other ones go on a 1-second cooldown. Now, I'm not sure what pumping 300 points of intellect into a build, what that's going to do for your cooldown time, but I'm sure the people at ANET know what they're doing.
Let's hope.
I really sure do hope so. And a lot of in arcane power, a lot of your this has your dodge stats. This also does a lot of if you are attuned to this, this happens. If you're attuned to this, this happens. That's located in your arcane tract. Yeah, other than that, mostly a lot of incomplete information. Like the arcane power and the water magic trait lines only have 1 released minor skill
Ooh.
or minor trait at the moment.
Ouch.
Yeah, so we don't really know a whole lot about what's going on with those, but I'm sure we will. Not in the near future, since the non-disclosure agreement's in effect, but hopefully sometime in the future.
Well, I know the press are getting into this beta event that's next weekend as well, so hopefully they are at least allowed to tell us some stuff.
I'm sure the
So,
press groups have, air quotes there, press groups, have permission to disclose a certain amount of information. They probably have to, get it okayed by ANET before they release it, but otherwise.
And then obviously, starting after April 10th, or the first beta weekend after April 10th, all bets are off.
Yeah. Then
right.
anybody who pre-ordered is in, and well, have a nice day.
In conclusion, before I wrap this up and let Jared randomly select another human being to slaughter, at the bottom of this article it does say something fantastical, and I feel I should share it with everyone. It says, Sylvari Elementalist totally equals Captain Planet.
That's true. Well, I think, what was,
I just love it.
at the bottom of my article, I think it said, what was it, ever try to pick up your teeth with a broken arm?
I just love the warrior, by the way. The engineer has an ability that turns you into the raging brute, I think, and the ability is literally called kick you in the balls.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. It's not really, but it should be.
Alright, Dave. Tell us about
hang
the
on,
Ranger.
Hang on.
Or comments.
Elementalist, hang
Do
on.
whatever the fuck you want.
We have discussion time now.
Ooh.
Well, it's not
Awesome.
discussion time. It's another subtle thing that I've seen about the Elementalist. It doesn't pressure you, but it gives you incentive to switch between attunements, because there are cross-attunement combos that have a starter, a mid, and a finisher, where you can combine AoE effects with your spells. So it's not like people are going to be stuck in fire and they're just always going to be fire. it does give you incentive to switch between all of them, which is going to give you a more diverse trait line and all that.
Yeah,
Which is going to make the Elementalist not an arcane mage from WoW.
Yay.
Exactly.
The Elementalist is going to be really cool. I mean, it's going to take a lot of work to get good at for most players, but once you're good at it, it's going to be a beast of a class, I think.
Yeah, about 60% of the people starting are actually probably going to be elementalists, because that's the most popular profession.
And bad, I'd like to point out. I
Yeah.
just think there's going to be a
Very
lot of baddies. I just do.
There's going to be a lot of baddies of just about every class on launch, though.
That's true. And I do 2 extra little awesomeness that I wanted to point out. The elementals cannot switch weapons in combat. Also, the engineer cannot do that. And that's just because they have so much other crap, as I was saying. Secondly, elementals can summon conjured weapons, and they just look
Kind of like the
sweet
Guardians.
sweet as shit. Yeah, but they're
Except
way more awesome.
the elementalist conjure weapons can be picked up by anyone in the party.
Oh, nice.
And you literally equip it as like I think there was an ice bow and a lightning hammer that I've seen.
Fiery axe.
That's and a fiery greatsword is one of the elite skills for the elementalist. And they just kind of like appear, and then anyone can walk over and pick it up and start whacking away. And it changes your first 5 skills on your skill bar to whatever
It doesn't.
that weapon is.
So now, does it give a unique skill set
Yes.
To that weapon, yes.
to that weapon? Oh, beautiful.
Mhm.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. Okay, that's all I had.
Okay.
As an extra insert, sorry.
Well, I suppose that means if you're ready, Dave, then you can tell us about the Ranger.
Or you can make Jared go.
Or we could make Jared go.
I believe Jared told you to go before you interrupted.
Jared's the host of the show, so Dave can tell us about the Ranger.
Jump guide.
Old bitch slap somebody. The Ranger is not as free from the shackles of a pet as I thought it was going to be in Guild Wars 2. The pet is apparently a strategic. If you don't spec into him, he becomes a strategic tool. You need the right pet for the right area. Something interesting about the Ranger traits is all the traits, rather utility skills that you put on your 6 through 0, all of them have a effect for you and your pet. So you don't have to sacrifice one for you to give one to your pet. It's built in, so it's not as much of a hindrance if you don't really want to mess with the pet. The control seems to be very easy. There's a F3 that causes him to attack, F2. Kind of like the warrior adrenaline skills are on F1, well the Ranger has 3 or 4 that are in direct control of the pet. Now, every pet has a unique racial skill. That does not, take the moa bird for example, the chocobo. Not all species of chocobo have the same racial. Depending on what kind of chocobo they are, they'll have different ones.
Chocobo.
One for damage, one for defense, one for healing, one for support, one for... It's across the board. That's cool.
I hope the black moa is a damage dealer, because it shouldn't be anything else. Let's face it.
Maybe. Flamingo also falls under the moa bird species instead of the... Like, the moa bird is separate from the bird category in the pet list, and the flamingo is right smack dab in the middle of the moa birds. And then the other birds are up here, like the raven and the fiery godhawk or whatever else they have up there.
Well, yeah, and it was the same in Guild Wars 1, though, wasn't it? The flamingo counted as a moa.
I think so. Weapons. Ranger, Necromancer, and Mesmer are the only ones that can use the torch, I believe. I think that's right. The torch, Ranger can do cool things with it. The only reason I'm mentioning it specifically is because you can just set things on fire with it, and I like fire.
Fiery arrows of doom.
Yeah. So, your traits for the Ranger. You've got Marksmanship, which is power and condition duration. Has a lot of longbow effects in it. You've got Wilderness Survival, and increases your toughness and condition damage with some defensive traits. I'm guessing that's the I'm going to survive and control the area. Nature Magic is Vitality and Boon Duration. There is exactly no traits released for Nature Magic. Not a goddamn one. And I have no fucking idea why. They're in the beta. You can see them there, but no one goes over them. I don't know if they're blank data or what the hell's going on. Skirmishing increases precision and critical damage. That seems to double dip because precision directly increases your chance to crit. It's nice synergy. It's just strange. And that lends to trap and speed related traits. I like that. Beast Mastery increases healing and pet attributes. Obviously, pet related traits. Now, the strategy thing for Rangers seems a Ranger will win against his opponent if he uses his pet the correct way. That seems to be what this entire article says. Because if you control your pet, you will never die. The fucking pet can rally you, so you have no excuse. Rangers a lot about acrobatics when you're using the melee weapons, speed. A lot of the weapons themselves have dodging effects in them, so you don't really have to use your endurance to dodge except in emergencies, which is pretty cool. So yeah, speed with the melee, range with the bows. You've got the greatsword. That's a cleaving effect weapon with high maneuverability, which is surprising. So yeah, the Ranger's an acrobatic warrior with almost no armor. That's what he is. There's really not much more to say. He does have spirits. They're like the engineer turrets, except they're magical and they're spirits. They give buffs and all that shit.
Probably do more damage.
No, they don't do damage.
Not
They
better.
change things. Like, for instance, a spirit in Guild Wars 1, Favorable Winds, all it did was increase your arrow speed and the damage your arrows did.
Well, the spirits in Guild Wars 2 do damage. The Sun Spirit sets a radius around it on fire as its special skill. Like, your skill on 6 through 0, say you've got your Sun Spirit on number 7. You summon it, and it's stationary. It can't move. Well, if you press the skill again, it does a nova and explodes.
Nice.
And sets everything around it on fire for a short amount of time.
So it's like a time bomb.
Kinda, except you get to choose when you do it.
Okay, so a remote detonator bomb.
Yes. And then you've also got traps, which are a staple of the Ranger from Guild Wars 1.
Of course.
Very effective. A lot of them do very, very, very bad conditions. I've noticed that the conditions it inflicts, they all seem to be controlled. None of them seem to be you would use traps to kill your opponent.
That's sad.
Yeah, and I mean in Guild Wars 1 you had traps that you'd set a couple down and you'd lead enemies through it specifically to kill them.
Yeah, trap nuking was a pretty big part of certain types of PvP in Guild Wars 1.
Yeah. And some of the Rangers in the Realm of Torment, they farm areas with full trap skill bars where they pick an area and they lay a bunch of traps and then they go and pull something across the traps and kill them. And they solo farm like that.
I believe it.
So, spirits, traps, pets, utility skills, a lot, I mean a fuck ton of utility skills that give multiple buffs. There's one that gives Fury, Might, and Swiftness for like 15 seconds on a 20-second cooldown.
Wow.
And that's given both you and your pets simultaneously.
Nice.
So,
Awesome. Still a dirty cheater class. Hooray.
the Ranger's a survivalist. I love it.
Yeah.
I do have a question, though. Since I was laughing at a completely inappropriate joke, so I muted myself and just laughed my ass off in my chair. Did you mention the being able to swap pets out?
No, I
pets.
didn't.
Okay.
The pets, you have a skill that allows you to swap between up to 3 pets.
Like Final Fantasy X. Woo! I love it.
Exactly
I
like
love
the
it.
Final Fantasy X switching system. You can toggle through pets to summon one out. Now, say a pet dies in combat. You can swap it out for another one. And it'll increase the cooldown time. If you swap in a dead pet, it'll increase the cooldown time of this ability. But the next time it comes off cooldown and you swap, the pet that died will be alive again. Obviously, if you switch before it's dead, the cooldown will remain the same. They haven't said if it doubles or how exactly the time increase, how detrimental it is. But apparently it's bearable for people who have found this out. So yeah, you can literally switch on the fly for tactical support, which falls into that ranger strategy with the pets.
Which is cool.
Yeah, you can switch between control, damage, and support as needed. So the ranger gets to fall into that niche rather well.
And it makes sense too, because it's just like switching your weapons in the middle of a fight.
Yeah, and the
Right.
ranger can switch weapons too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Dirty cheaters, I'm telling you.
Well,
Mad?
you wanna
A little bit.
you really wanna talk about dirty cheaters? Let's
Yeah,
talk about
bring
the
on.
thief. But before we talk about the thief, I
Just kidding.
just want to quick give credit. At least Jeremy and I know for sure used Beliasta's class breakdowns on Guild Wars and Cider to kind of formulate our thoughts. So big props to that person for giving
I didn't
us
so much, but I did steal the
information.
Savari Elementalist Captain Planet line from him, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, the thief really is a dirty, rotten cheater. He doesn't believe in making money in legitimate ways. He steals stuff.
Like
That-
a hoe bag.
Yeah, like a hoe bag. You also, obviously it's a very stealth-heavy class. The stealth stuff, I'm kind of meh. What I thought was, the couple of things that I found that was neat about the thief were dual wield skills, where your third weapon skill, if you're wielding a single-handed weapon, cool, it's related to that weapon, fine, whatever. But if you're dual wielding at the time, then that replaces that third skill with a dual wield skill based on what weapons you're dual wielding, presumably. And it's going to be a more badass 3-button than before, obviously. The other thing I thought was cool about the thief was the fact that instead of having to manage cooldowns on your 2 through 5, or probably 2 through 10 abilities, but mostly your 2 through 5 abilities, like other classes, you have to manage a resource called initiative. So unlike the WoW Rogue, where you have combo points where you're just spamming one button to get your combo points, you actually legitimately are setting up combos with your initiative to either as a spike maneuver or like a support type thing, or if you're just trying to get that big beefy warrior and his big fucking hammer away from your engineer's healing turret.
Yeah.
And you can also shadow step around using the steal ability to keep yourself out of AoEs, because AoEs can't actually knock you out of stealth.
Nope. It has to run out.
Stealth has to run out, or you have to do something.
Which actually, I like that. But you know how pissed off rogues in WoW would be if they put a timer on how long you were in stealth?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the reason ANET did that.
Exactly. And I like it.
Yeah, it allows easier balance of the thief, and it forces more skillful gameplay,
Mhm.
better timing with abilities.
And
Yep.
instead of creeping around an entire structured PvP game in stealth, you actually have to plan when you're going to stealth and when you're going to be visible to everybody.
Yep.
So as far as the weapons go, the thief actually has a kind of small weapon choice selection. You can have a short bow or a pistol as far as more ranged weapons, or as melee weapons you can either rock a sword or dagger. And as far as offhand weapons, it's just you can dual wield with a dagger or a pistol, which would obviously change that dual wield ability I was talking about earlier. Utility skills, you have signets, things called tricks, which aren't really talked about, venoms, poisons, obviously, and basically just adding poisons that add a certain condition depending on what venom it is. Thieves also have traps. So, yeah, you can do that. You and your ranger buddy can set up trap combos.
Lame. I would really let's just take two of, from my experience, the most overpowered classes, and let's make them buddies. Excellent.
You mad?
A little bit. Shut your damn mouth.
That's alright. I'll just hop in a portal and use my AoE stealth as a mesmer to be like, bitch, please. You mad? You can't hit me now.
Right? Why don't we all get stealth?
I don't think warriors would be unclunky enough to use stealth.
Yeah, we clink
non-warrior.
we clink too much. Chink, chink, chink.
So as far as traits go, they're pretty intuitive. Deadly arts raises power and condition duration. Critical strikes raises precision and your crit multiplier. Shadow arts is your defensive trait line with toughness and healing. Acrobatics raises vitality and your boon duration. And trickery, which is the thief's. I almost called it a rogue.
Yes, you did.
is the thief's exclusive
Deal.
thing where it raises condition damage and lowers the cooldown of steel, thus making stealing more effective. Shocking, I know.
Especially when it stealths you. Awesome trait.
Agreed. And the quote in the conclusion from this article that was pretty funny: "I'm totally going to stab that dragon in the face with my knife, and it's going to be awesome."
Heck yes, it will be.
Okay,
Do they
so
really just run up and stab people in the face, though?
oh,
They
the
just,
thief
like,
in the
go
header art.
Ditching side stabbers and crap.
Well, no, actually, the ranger has more traits that benefits from attacking it from the side and behind the enemy than the thief does.
I noticed this. Jared was playing a video earlier today, just messing with his audio, and I noticed that with like the ranger, the closer your opponent gets to you, the less your damage your bow does.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the longbow, I believe, right?
Yeah, so
Which you'd think would be kind of weird because you'd have the most velocity the moment it leaves the bow, right?
yeah,
Isn't it
but
just the longbow that does that?
Yeah, just longbow.
the warrior can also swing at you with this big hammer and break your bow to smithereens.
True.
IRL.
True that. True that.
All right. Anything else about the thief?
I'm glad it's not like the Godchild assassin in Guild Wars 1. The assassin is literally Anet's favorite.
Mm.
Yes, assassin lovers, Shadow form got nerfed, boo fucking who, it's still used in every goddamn build.
Yes.
Build the assassin has.
Yes.
If you're not an assassin, you cannot go on 90% of the farming runs or speed clears in Guild Wars 1.
And also, you know, a lot of the, assassin is used for a lot of the secondary professions that let most other professions do these farming builds because of shadow form.
Yep.
I'm guilty. My Mesmer's, the tier farm build, uses it.
My ritualist would have to use it too. Good thing I have a dervish.
I love my dervish.
Me too. Dervish and ritualist, my two favorite classes.
I have two side notes. On the thief, on your website that you cited, it lists the elite skills, and the first one it lists is Thieves
Thieves
Guild.
Guild. Yes.
It summons other thieves to aid you for 30 seconds. Best part of the whole thing, though, there is no way to rename it to Assassin's Guild. Wah. Awesome.
What?
That's what it says on the website, that there's no way
Oh.
to rename it to Assassin's Guild.
That's funny.
Also, and on the side of this website are the updates from Twitter.
I pointed
Does
at one
anyone
for
see
Jared.
this?
Yeah.
What's the drop rate for beta keys?
Exactly.
They
Which,
need
in
to-
case you have not heard.
They need to
have
increase
wow.
that shit because, yeah, beta invites started to go out today. They've said that they'll go out for a few days for the event next weekend.
I love it. Drop rate. That's fantastic.
That shit needs to be higher. Period. End of story.
Yep.
So, this would be the part where we would talk about listener feedback.
If we had any.
And I've been trolling all fucking week for it. Come on. You can, There's so many ways you can get a hold of us, and I'll start talking about those now. You can reach us in the following ways. You can direct download the show at our blog, ascendantsofascalon.wordpress.com. You can reach us by email, the show email, ascendantsofascalon@gmail.com, or the show Twitter at @A_podcast. Individually, you can reach me on Twitter at Solietu. You can reach Jeremy on Twitter
at JQSage. And by the way, you might want to spell your Solietu for them. Some people don't realize.
It'll be in the show
I
notes.
was just thinking that.
Which can also be found on the blog. by
Dave
the
and
way.
Mel do not believe in Twitter.
Nope, still don't.
Therefore, you have to contact them through the show Twitter or the show email.
Yep.
You can listen live every week. We usually put out a notice a day or two in advance. Once we know when we're recording, we'll share it through the show Twitter. You can listen live at twitch.tv/wowsolietu. You can catch a VOD of this on YouTube, youtube.com/wowsolietu, or you can download the show through iTunes or Stitcher Radio. Any closing thoughts, folks?
Good show. We had a lot of stuff to go through. We got through it well. Intelligent conversation, as usual. Thank you, you two.
Cool.
Yes, Melissa, you did provide some intelligent quips. Thank you.
I usually do, but I would like to point out that there just wasn't a lot of room for my awesome, vague sexual innuendos this week.
It's
so
true.
I demand that we fix that for next
And
week.
honestly, it seemed like most of us didn't really have much time to research this.
Well, Annette, this is on you. Turn the news down to a trickle and send us all beta invites.
Yes.
Also, true story. I just checked mine by
Even
the way.
though we wouldn't be able to talk about it.
We can at
we
least
can talk about the fact that we didn't get one.
yeah, or something. Dave, thoughts? Final closing. I'm glad you got to stick around for the whole show.
Me too.
Me too.
I locked my door.
Well
Nice.
played, sir.
Surprised they didn't break it in.
But no closing thoughts. I really would like someone to play Aeon with me.
I'll play with you, Dave.
I will
Ooh, really?
give it some thought.
Let me know. I'll download it and try it out at least.
Yeah.
Oh no! It's not that kind of free to play. You have to buy the box. It's gonna be like Guild Wars, where you have to buy the box.
I probably won't have the funding for it then, sadly.
I
Because
just
I have a little saved back for Guild Wars 2, but for the most part, I pay my bills and I'm broke.
I just spent $130 on a microphone.
It's a sexy microphone though.
I'll
I'll still play with you, Dave.
I'll repost the picture on
All night.
on the show Twitter at some point.
Mel's loving these sexual innuendos.
I'm so glad that it's made a resurgence. Thank you. Just like my Arizona Mucho Mango. Ninja'd in the middle of the show.
All right. Well,
You're welcome.
Thanks so much for coming out, the people that watched this live, if anyone did, and thanks for downloading us. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Dave?